subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
All right, we're in the building. Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we are. Round of applause to you. We are in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to have you guys in here for the late night tap in. Y'all give me a retweet. Let everybody else know that we are indeed live right now, tapping in with the family. So while you guys are retweeting, I am going to give some shout outs to some of the regulars in here, as I always do. Let me see who we got. Folks are piling in the room pretty fast, and that's a beautiful thing. We got Holland. We got the anti-Karen in the building, the lovely anti-Karen. We got Fiat. We got FBA Sheena. We have London. We have Dante, Percy Earl, Monisha. We have Iconic Judy. We have Shane, little old me, Sweets. We have Gabriel. We have Katie in the building, the lovely Katie in the building. We have Jimmy in the building, Arian G, Sexy D, our Greek brother Suntan in the building, Miss KK, Noel, cousin Jerry in the building, and the legendary Tethernator in the building. Round of applause to you guys. And we're going to take some calls pretty early, ladies and gentlemen, so get your questions and all that ready. What I do want to talk about first, there's a great article that came out. This is from The Hill. There was a poll, and what they're saying in this new poll, the Democrats are underwater in new poll. The Democrats are suffering right now, family. And I told people that they're hemorrhaging right now. And that's because of us. Let me read this article. They're trying to explain why the Democrats are suffering. They said the Democrat Party's approval rating is underwater at 40%, according to a new poll. The latest troubling sign for a party still grappling with losses from November. The poll released on Monday found out that only 4 in 10 respondents approved of the job that the Democratic Party is doing, a slight drop from June when 42% of the respondents answered similarly. So they've been dropping and dropping and dropping over. Let me read the rest. Of the 40% of the respondents who gave the Democratic Party a thumbs up, they included 72% of the Democrats and 29% of the independents or other voters. The latest polls show that the party's disapproval rating sits at 60%, slowly inching up from 58% in June. 28% of the surveyed Democrats and 71% of the independents and other voters contributed to the overall 60% disapproval rating of the party. Damn. Man, let's unpack this. Where's Gabriel? Where are you, Democrat Shields? RJ, this is a great time for RJ to come on in here. RJ, the Democrat Shield. Where he at? Because RJ is usually in here lurking. RJ, where you at? Come out from under that musty rock you be hiding under. Come on out now. Because these Democrat shields always come out here trying to tell us how everything is good. No, we can hear the nervousness in your voice. We've been telling you, you guys are sliding down a pole of failure. We've been telling you that. Y'all thought we were playing, and y'all were trying to save face. Y'all call in here. We can hear the nervousness and the trembling in your voices. We knew that you guys were in trouble. And we're taking ownership of it. We told you we're putting them in trouble. Listen, the reason why these people, the Democrats, are crashing and burning because, family, there is a foundational Black American renaissance right now. And we are in large numbers not rocking with them like that. And we're not allowing them to scare us about, oh, the Democrats and the Republicans, the Republicans are the boogeyman. Oh, Trump's that ain't scaring us. Trump has been playing chess with them. Trump is putting a smash down on illegal immigrants, and then gave us props. He gave us constitutional props. Trump said that 14th Amendment, that was for the babies of slaves. That was for the babies of slaves. You understand? That kicked the Democrats square off in their ass. See, that neutralized this whole thing where we're going to jump up and cape for everybody, because that was a wink and a nod saying, hey, you guys are good. So the Democrats, boy, they ain't got no play. They can't play the whole Trump is the big bad racist. They can't play that. That was their only card the last time. That ain't working. And we were talking about tangibles, and they were funny style with the tangibles. And we said, hey, if you don't give those tangibles, we will let you crash and burn. See, they're crashing right now and they're underwater because foundational Black Americans, we put an end to blind loyalty. We have become more politically mature and sophisticated. For decades, the Democrats, they just assumed the Black vote. They thought foundational Black Americans were going to hit that poll and automatically give them the vote. But this Renaissance movement, basically, that has led to a political awakening where that blind loyalty, that's being replaced by strategic advocacy, ladies and gentlemen. And we've been standing on business. We've been going to these hearings, meetings, town hall, conferences, the whole thing. We've been very consistent with that, telling them we're standing on FBA business. We're asking very pointed questions. We're demanding tangibles. We're saying, hey, we've supported you long enough. It's time for you to give up the goods. And the answer is more benign neglect. And we're like, okay, well, we're going to neglect that poll when voting shows up. When it's time to vote, we're going to neglect your ass. So now that growing disillusionment, that has translated into political disengagement, third party interest, and direct antagonism towards the Democratic establishment, ladies and gentlemen. We're in revolt of the damn Democrats. And listen, them stalling out on reparations, oh, y'all thought y'all were going to be slick on that. That became a political red flag. See, the Democratic Party, they try to use some slick ass language like, yeah, we're going to study reparations, we're going to form a commission, and all these delaying tactics. And we said enough is enough. We wised up. We said, nah, we're going to delay voting for your ass too. Because you didn't delay voting. Well, you didn't delay giving resources to the Ukrainians and illegal immigrants and LGBT organizations. You didn't study that. So you ain't going to sit here and play the study game with us. So that whole lack of urgency around our reparations, that's not acceptable. And we let them know it's not acceptable. We have no problem letting you crash and burn and then talking about, well, what is Trump going to do? What is the Republicans going to do? We'll get some of y'all tethers up out of here and some of these illegals. And that's a great consolation prize for right now, because that opens up some job lanes and resource lanes. So we'll work with that right now until the reparations come here. That's good enough for right now. Yeah, sometimes if you need your TV fixed, you might not have the tools to get it fixed, but you can put a piece of aluminum foil up there and let that be on the antenna, and that'll work for right now. It's like a fix-a-flat. Yeah, the tire is flat. We put a little fix-a-flat in there until we get a new tire. We just got to work with the fix-a-flat. The fix-a-flat will do for right now, long as we ain't on flat. Yeah, because see, all of these illegal groups, like I said the other day, they're getting tangibles. We're just getting studies and theories, and that's not acceptable. We're watching illegal immigrants. These folks are coming over here while we have homeless foundational Black Americans out here. These illegals are getting set up in hotels and getting food vouchers and all types of resources and training and job programs, getting health care, legal protections. We always forget about that. There's all types of law firms that's helping these people too. Y'all, we overlook that. We overlook these law firms That's somebody's funding. They ain't just doing it for free. People are underwriting these law firms to look out for them and make sure that they go through the right legal channels in order to get citizenship and all of this weird stuff, man. So the people who built the whole country, we built this thing, and we get left with crumbling schools, surveillance, anti-black crime waves being ignored, and the Democrats want to prioritize non-citizens over the foundation of Black Americans. That's a slap in the face, and we're saying no more. See, this is why cultural pride is very important. Culture over compromise. See, there's a rise in foundational Black American ethnic consciousness. Now there's a growing delineation with us and all of these other groups, and it's a very healthy delineation. Everybody don't need to be all together if everybody's not on code. Don't let people fool you with that. We all need to be together. No, we don't. No, we don't. We've been together long enough and that shit don't work. We're together so people can leech off of our asses. We don't need to be together with people who gonna leech on us. We don't need to be together with parasites. If people want to have a parasitic relationship, disattach, disengage. We don't need to be together with that. Don't let them fool you with that together talk. A leech is together. You know, when a leech is on you, y'all together. Is that a good thing? It's sucking the blood out of your ass. No. Everybody don't need to be together if there's a one-sided benefit for one side of the group. Nobody's benefiting mutually. So yeah, we should disengage, and we should have disengaged a long time ago and made sure everybody who was around was on the same page and doing everything on a codified level. You see? But the thing is, what's killing the game now, we got social media. Foundational Black Americans are creating their own media lanes independent of the legacy media. There's Foundational Black American led podcast and other mechanisms on the grassroots. There's real grassroots journalism from Foundational Black Americans that's replacing MSNBC and CNN and all of these legacy media outlets who try to dictate us what the narrative should be. And we're saying, no, that's not the narrative. There are new voices out here. They're not afraid to name names and expose sellouts, challenge the Democratic talking points openly without sounding like Candace Owens, because that's another thing. Anytime we challenge the Democrats, they try to play the y'all MAGA, y'all would be MAGA. No, no. That's a con game. That's a Democrat DNC con game. We're not going for that. So it's a new day. It's a brand new day. Dr. Dinsky, let me see what he's talking about. We got our one of our favorite white supremacists in here, Dr. Dinsky. What's going on with you, Dr. Dinsky?
Salam alaikum, brother. So Tariq, I'm concerned that you have a tether slave name, Tariq Nasheed. It sounds a bit ethnic. It seems like, something ICE would pick up on. Have you considered changing it to a nice, lovely FBA name, or do you still want to carry that slave name?
Well, damn it, what name isn't a slave name? Give me a name that's not a slave name.
What about Michael Johnson?
That would be named after a slave master. A lot of slave masters' name was Johnson.
Yeah, but your FBA, so part of
Right,
your ancestry is the slave and the slave owner, right?
right.
So that's
Mhm.
a mix. It's more in line with your foundational core.
Now,
This is
what
the
you
thing about FBAs is like I was talking to some in a space and they've done those ancestry tests and like they say because they've got some DNA results of like Abraham Lincoln and Benjamin Franklin, and a lot of them are related to these like noble figures in American history. So wouldn't it be better to pay homage to your American roots by having that name? And yeah, like I understand there's some slavery aspect to it, but there's also a relatedness that you have to these foundational people.
well, I'm fine. No matter what I do, my lineage is still my lineage, so that don't matter. That's inconsequential, isn't it?
But it sounds very ethnic. It sounds very, like
Whatever.
it's it,
If I change my name to a Chinese name, my lineage is still foundational Black American, right?
I guess so. Also,
Right.
Tariq, do
That's
you?
the thing. Now, what you need to be concerned about, Dr. Dinsky, I'm seeing them birth rates are getting even lower. Man, what are you going to do about them birth rates, man? You white supremacists about to go extinct. I mean, what are you going to do something about them birth rates, man? We don't want to lose all of you. I need my Rice Krispie treats. I can't make Rice Krispie treats by myself. I need white people. So what are you going to do about the
But
birth rates?
it's a misconception because if you look at what is it, TFR, total fertility replacement,
Hmm.
every single racial group in America is below replacement besides Hispanics, right? And you're not saving the FBA race by marrying a mixed race biracial woman,
Yes,
a half white queen.
yes, I am, because these babies are black, so yeah, we bringing it back black. Yes, we are.
And then what
And
happens?
then,
Your
and
kids
then,
marry
and,
marry.
does that upset you? Let me ask you this, because I think a lot of you white supremacists think I killed that white bloodline. So do y'all get upset with that? Do y'all think I kind of wage war on that white bloodline?
Not really, because your kids are gonna marry a biracial, and their kids are gonna marry a biracial, and before you know it, you're gonna be looking like Ice Spice and Logic. All you're doing is genocide.
No, no, there's
You need it.
black.
This is why you need the tethers. You need the full-blooded ebos to come in and darken you up, because I mean, you're rocking about 20% white blood. Your kids are rocking what, like 40% white blood. You're just diluting and diluting. Before you know it, the average FBA is going to look like me. I'm like, what up, brother?
No,
And you know what I mean? Like,
that takes
like your descendants running the hidden history.
now that takes too long. You understand? And then what happens after a while, it becomes a fixed mulatto race, just like the Spanish. The Spanish don't look nothing like Anglos. They're just locked in. And some of the Italians, they're locked in to damn near a fixed mulatto race. Even some of the Greeks, they're locked in, especially over there in Turkey.
So you want to look like an
No,
Italian?
no, okay, you're playing dumb. I'm just saying, we're fine. We're fine. It's not, I don't think it's going to be enough of you to mix in with pretty soon.
I get what you're saying. There
You
is
know what I'm
like a
Yeah,
fixed.
it's not going to be enough for y'all to mix in with. So you're going to be in hunky heaven. So what are you going to do up there in hunky heaven? I mean, you're not going to be here no more. What's going to or hunky hell? Now, which one?
Well, there is. I mean, only white people go to heaven. That's a fact. You guys have the curse of Ham, but you do lock into a phenotype, and you can look at the Dominicans. The Dominicans are like a mulatto race, but they have these bulldog faces, right? So they got good bodies, but they also like they have these pug-like faces. Have you noticed that, Tariq? That the Dominican faces are kind of like bulldog esque.
I haven't noticed that, but yeah, you talk about the curse of
You own a bulldog, don't
you talk about the curse of ham. You got the skin of ham. You got ham skin. You got pork skin, sir. You have the skin of ham. And the earth is burning your skin. You get melanoma. The earth is shaking you off as white supremacists. So that's the curse right there. What are you going to do about them birth rates? Are y'all going to get into transhumanism? Or we going to get robo hunkies? What are we doing? I just need I
Shut the robo
yeah,
honkies. You're hilarious, man. You need to start doing stand up. You'd be great at crowd work if you did like stand up and you just roasted people in the crowd. That shit would be funny as hell.
now I
But no, I mean you need to worry about your birth rates as well.
now, are you still over there in the Dominican Republic, or are you back in Australia?
I'm still in the Black Mecca, Sasua. The heartland of the FBAs.
Hmm. Where's that?
I'm probably around more. I'm around more FBAs than you are, probably.
Republic?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you're out there tricking off them little Australian dollars, trying to darken up your little race. You're trying to get you a little old Latina so that you can have a little a mixed breed over there in the Dominican Republic.
Well, I want to come to America. I want to find myself Louisiana Creole. I think they're
No,
called. I want to get.
FBA women, they ain't really on the bed wench bandwagon like the foreign women. You'll do good out there. FBA women, they ain't gonna rock with you like that.
I'm gonna get myself.
Well, they'll get with you if you got a bag, and they'll, if you got a bag, some of them might holler at you. But yeah, you ain't got no money. You out here doing some budget tricking in the Dominican Republic.
All right, Tariq. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Doc. All right. Yeah, this dude is doing some more low-level tricking out there in the Dominican Republic. You ain't even doing no high stakes tricking. All right, at least you ain't got that Thailand trick money. You're tricking off over in Thailand, which is still low level to a certain degree. Yeah, no. Man, man, man. All right, let me get some more folks in here. Let me get some people in here. Yeah, you need to worry about them birth rates. Worrying about foundational Black American business. We all right. We're fine. We're gonna be fine. All right. Let's get Brainiac. Brainiac in the building. Brainiac in the building, and then we'll try Hampton Friedman. Brainiac.
As an elementary education teacher, may you help me understand why are so many black boys and girls failing in school and don't appear to be able to read and are in the spectrum?
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk to somebody who's too cowardly to get on the phone and speak. Why don't you get on the phone and speak if you have something to say, ma'am or sir? You sound like you're a dude and you are using a catfish. Oh yeah, you ain't got no followers. Okay, this is a catfish account. Okay, okay, all right. You should get on here and say what you need to say, dude. We know you're a dude, so go ahead and get on here and say something.
Why are they so weak?
Okay, okay, yeah, that ain't gonna work. Yeah, this is some sassy dude's catfish account. He uses this to sell bussy pictures. All right, Hampton, what's up, Hampton? Mr. Hampton, hop on in.
Peace, 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 Tariq. Peace to the FBA family. Puppet Kute Vule.
Bye, brother.
Um, man, Tariq, you been cooking, dog, with this with the Democratic Party, man. Everything you said been on point.
Yes.
And when I've been looking at what the Tether's been doing, man, it's really started making me look at stuff historically. And we gotta really think, we have to look at the mind of these people, right? And we got to look at their ancestry. And when you look at it historically, Tariq, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't malaria have killed off plenty of Europeans if they was able to really run into Africa?
Yeah, yeah, it would have. They couldn't. They went up into Africa way. They got up in there later in the interior. They just get up in there. So,
So that means that the people that was snatching up all of those people from those unsuspecting tribes, snatching up people in the middle of the night, those would have been other tribes, correct?
right, it was. Yeah,
The vast majority, so it's not just a conservative white supremacist talking point, the vast majority of the people putting in work to snatch up those tribes, those were continental Africans, right?
a lot of them. Yes, it was.
So when we looking at stuff like the Woman King, Dahomey, they were so brutal on them people to read. They said that estimates up to 5% of the transatlantic slave trade came from the Dahomey tribe alone,
Mm,
and up to 20% in the Benin area. Now I say all that to say this real quick. We have to look at what is in the mind of a low-life tethered mother effer that can go in the middle of the night, snatch up innocent women, children, and men, and get them out of the country, right? Get them off the continent and send them off into oblivion. So now we look hundreds of years later, and those same people, the descendants of those people who worked with the colonizer to get some of our ancestors sent away from the continent, they now want to come over here and work with the colonizer to get us sent somewhere else or to usurp our place and take what we have here. They trying to do the same damn thing on a different continent. And so that's why I'm glad for you, brother. I'm glad for the FBA family. Delineation will save the nation, and I'm gonna land my plane there.
yes, indeed, man. Thank you so much. And we got to understand some of the stuff that was going on up there. How they were just like Dr. Dinsky, who called up this. He's a white supremacist, and he's over there tricking off in the Dominican Republic. I want y'all to understand that's not an innocent thing. See, the white supremacists were doing the same thing in West Africa, East Africa. The Portuguese came down, excuse me, and like in the I want to say 1500s, and the Portuguese started to mix in with some of the royal African families, and then that created a whole new little mulatto cast over there. I think they call them the Linkados, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I think they call them the Linkados. And that mulatto African and Puerto Rican group, yeah, it was the Linkados. That African and Puerto Rican, not Puerto Rican, Portuguese group, they were used basically to do a lot of the dirty work because they had more of a camaraderie with their Portuguese fathers. It was the Portuguese men mixing with those African bedwenchers. So they used those Lancados to be as middlemen between African society and European powers. You know, they were bilingual, they were bicultural, they had dual allegiance. You understand? This is why they can get little shit like Elmina Castle up there by them little old dual allegiance niggas up there. That's why they could build an Elmina up there and enslave people and everybody's walking around like everything is cool. I've never had a desire to go to the Elmina Castle, by the way. I've never had a desire to go up there. You understand? Because if people wanted that shit to stop, they would have got that castle up out of there. So everybody around was complicit. They had some kind of complicity to it. Same thing over there in East Africa. You had some of the Arabs mixing in with some of the African women. And then they created these slave traders like Tipu Tip, who was a jet black, half Arab, half African, but he was jet black and he was a major slave trader over there, East Africa, Zanzibar. I've been over there. When I went to Zanzibar, there was a lot of his stuff over there. Major slave trader. You see, so they were making these little janky deals and they would mix in with these other oppressive powers, and they had dual allegiances, usually more of an allegiance to where their fathers were from. So things like that have always been problematic. This is why we, during this renaissance that we're having now, we're questioning people who have dual allegiances, because see, now we got people who try to play the game. Well, hey man, I'm half FBA and I'm half this. My mama's FBA, but my dad is Nigerian. See, that's understandable. That's understandable. You still have FBA lineage, but the thing is people, when people have these dual allegiances, we got to watch whether they try to act as representatives, because you trying to act as a representative for us and you have that dual allegiance, that might be problematic because you might have more of an affinity for that other side, and that other side seeks to undermine us in many cases. So we got to watch out for these little Lancado deals. We got to really watch out for that.
I can dig it. I'm on my way.
Where you going, Rootwork Jones?
There's some musty suckers on the streets. I got to go handle that. I got to split, baby. Can you dig it?
When you need to clean the stank off the streets, you don't call your mama. You call Rootwork Jones. Rootwork Jones is a stone-cold dude that keeps the stanky suckers shaking in their boots.
Listen up, chumps. I'm looking for Dolomus. Can you dig it?
Rootwork Jones is getting down to the nitty-gritty, taking on the mustiest sucker in the city.
Dolomust is my name, and staying good and musty is my game. Where is Rootwork Jones?
This is a super soul brother getting rid of the stank. And you can for sure take that to the bank.
Take that, you musty jive turkeys.
When Rootwork Jones is not dealing with drama, he finds time to deal with foxy mamas.
Why don't you come on over here and give me some of that root work, sugar?
Rootwork Jones. He's bold. He's bad. And he's keeping the suckers musty mad. Rootwork Jones coming to a theater near you. Go to rootworkstyle.com.